Federal prosecutors now are investigating American media's conduct here. Keep in mind that the company has this 3-year kind of better behaved deal that was scored on the Michael Cohen thing, and whether it had anything to do with arranging stories that amounted to payoffs for paramours of the president at the time that are alleged. The bottom line is it could get messy there. To attorney Andrew Stoltmann. Andrew, where do you think this is going?
Well, I think we're probably in inning 2 right now of a 9-inning ball game. I think you will likely see, certainly an investigation into Mr. Pecker. I think there's a chance the immunity deal could be torn up, which is a huge, huge problem. And I would be shocked if Mr. Bezos doesn't file a lawsuit against Mr. Pecker and his company as well, and potentially go the Gawker, Hulk Hogan, Peter Thiel route.
You know, the one thing that confuses me here is it's a legitimate story in and of itself that the world's richest man, the tax and everything else, and, fooling around potentially on his wife, and that would have been a legitimate story regardless, wouldn't it? And so how is Bezos then going to try to make the extortion leap? I mean, what are they going to use?
Well, I think the Inquirer went one step too far because, yes, it's a valid story that he's cheating on his wife and that there are these texts. Right. But the big problem comes if indeed what Mr. Bezos alleged is true, that the National Enquirer and Mr. Pecker, in effect, threatened him and said, if you do not kill this story and in effect come forward and say this had nothing to do with political reasons, we are going to publish photos, a naked selfie, I believe. That's potentially extortion. That's potentially a crime. And I think that's what has Mr. Bezos so upset.
Now, you're the lawyer, but you can explain the significance to me who's not. The Inquirer editor, Dylan Howard, his involvement in this, in which he emails, again, to Bezos and his associates. It would give me or no editor pleasure to send this email saying, I hope common sense will prevail and quickly. That does sound like a threat.
It does sound like a threat, and very clearly the Inquirer wanted something. They wanted Bezos to do something, and I think we've all seen the mob movies too many times, right? Where extortion or blackmail has a physical threat. It doesn't have to have that. It can have something like a threat to expose something, a threat to ruin somebody's reputation, and that is precisely what Mr. Bezos and his lawyers are alleging.
So, Andrew, just to be clear, this all started with the story itself that the Inquirer had gotten, that he had this affair going on with this other woman, this Fox anchor, and all of a sudden, he gets wind of it, knows the story is coming out, announces that he and his wife of 25 years are separating. So you could make